sabzi is a traditional and quintessential Persian dish that is the most loved stew in the Persian culture. It's basically a stew that's made with two key ingredients, parsley and green onions. But you'll also find lots of different variations within different households. Some like to add spinach, some add coriander, but with my recipe, it's just the two ingredients. There are two key steps when it comes to preparing this dish. You need to first prepare the herbs separately and then prepare the meat separately and then combine the two together. Here I've got about 650 grams of finely chopped parsley, and I'm just going to add it into my pot. And to it, I'm going to add about 450 grams of finely chopped green onions. Initially, I'm going to dry fry this. I'm not going to add any oil, and I want to basically allow all of the moisture or the liquid in the veg or the herbs to evaporate. You'll notice that I have a lot of herbs, but by the time I finish frying this mixture, you'll see that it's literally halved, if not quartered in size. Here I've got some dry chives, which I've soaked in water for about 10 minutes and then drained, and I'll just add this to my veg while I'm dry frying it. A unique element of this dish is that you can use both fresh and also dry herbs when you're preparing the stew. All you need to do is rehydrate them before you start frying them. I've been dry frying now for about 10 to 15 minutes. You'll see that a lot of the moisture has evaporated from the mixed greens, and now I'm ready to fry it with some vegetable oil. I'm going to be adding about half a cup of vegetable oil to my mixture, and I'll fry this for an additional 5 to 7 minutes until my herbs have a nice rich green color. The color of the fried herbs will contribute to the final beautiful color of your stew. It's also important not to over fry because you don't want your stew to have a black color. You want it to have a nice dark deep green. My herbs now have this gorgeous color that I want. I'm going to turn off the heat and add my dried fenugreek. And now this is what's going to add that incredible flavor. That's the signature flavor of my stew. It's important to add the fenugreek after the heat has been turned off, because if it's fried, it can turn bitter. And that's it. This step is done. We'll keep it on the side and start preparing the second part of the stew. In a separate pot, I'm going to be frying some onions. I'll add about 1/3 of a cup to 1/2 a cup of vegetable oil. Add 1 large onion finely chopped and fry until translucent. Now that the onions have softened, I'm going to add in some turmeric powder and a little bit of black pepper. I'll give this a little fry before adding my lamb cubes. Now that my meat has browned, I'm going to add about 2.5 liters of water. Bring the liquid to a boil and let it simmer for 30 minutes. I'm just going to check on my lamb. I'm now going to add in my fried herbs, which I prepared earlier. Add it into the lamb. Give everything a nice stir. It's starting to smell really good. The stew needs to have a really nice tangy flavor, and so traditionally we put dried lime into the pot, and I'm just going to pierce it, and this ensures that all the flavors come out. So just take a fork and just pierce it. Just add it into your stew. If you find that it's a bit difficult to pierce your dried lime, you can soak it in water for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then it will be easier to poke. Don't forget to season with some salt, and then you can cover and let it simmer away for about 90 minutes to 2 hours. The secret about this dish is that the longer it slow cooks, the more flavorful it becomes. And another tip is if you're making this for a dinner party, I always remember my grandmother making it the night before, because it's one of those dishes that actually develops even more flavor when it rests overnight. Okay. I'm just going to have a quick look at my stew and just look at how beautiful that looks. That dark green color on the side, that's a good sign of a good Ghormeh Sabzi. It's been cooking away now for about 90 minutes. I'm now going to add some cooked kidney beans, red kidney beans, and I'm going to let this simmer away for another 20 to 30 minutes, and this stew will be ready to serve. Just cover, and we'll get back to it in 30 minutes. My Ghormeh Sabzi has been simmering away for the past few hours, and it's now ready to be served. The smell is incredible. Reminds me of my grandma's house. Just gonna turn it off and just look at that gorgeous layer of dark green color. That's a sign of a good Ghormeh Sabzi. I'm gonna serve some on my platter, and look at that.